Well, hello and welcome. I'm Miss Heard with Miss Heard Song Lyrics Podcast. We're in Season 7, Episode 324. The Miss Heard song lyric is, I popped out my tit, I popped out my tit, I popped out my tit, And then the correct lyric says, ah-pa-ta-pa-te, 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 If you haven't guessed it already, especially the youngins, this is my first misheard song lyric with not only Rosé, but I think Bruno Mars. We're talking about Apartment or APT period. It's a song by New Zealand and South Korean singer Rosé. Like I said, an American musician, Bruno Mars. Let's begin. So who is Rosé? Her name is Roseanne Park. She was born back on February 11th, 1997. Oh, she's a youngin'. Known as a one name again, like Madonna and Cher, Rosé. And like I said, she's from New Zealand, and she's also South Korean singer-songwriter. She was born in New Zealand, raised in Australia, so she has an amazing accent. She moved to South Korea and signed with label YG Entertainment following a successful audition in 2012. And then she rose to prominence as a member of the South Korean girl group called Blackpink, which debuted in August of 2016 and became one of the best-selling girl groups of all time, if you can believe that. And again, it's not about popping out a tit, even though it sounds like it. It's actually Korean word for apartment and how you pronounce it. And we'll go into that in a bit. So back to Rosé. In March of 2021, she released her debut single album From R, which sold about 449,000 roughly copies in its first week, the highest figure by a Korean female soloist. Its lead single, On the Ground, made her the first artist to top the Billboard Global 200 as a soloist and as part of the group. The first Korean female soloist to enter the UK singles chart and the Korean solo artist with the most viewed music video in the first 24 hours of YouTube. She signed with the Black label and Atlantic Records in 2024 and released the song we're talking about today, APT or Apartment, and with Bruno Mars as the lead single from her debut studio album called Rosé 2024. APT top charts in numerous countries worldwide, including South Korea's Circle Digital chart and Australia's ARIA singles chart, where it became the first song by a Korean female soloist to reach the summit. In the US and the UK, Rosé earned the first song by a Korean female soloist to enter the top 3 with APT, and the highest charting album by a Korean female soloist with Rosé. Her accolades grow. She includes 6 Guinness World Records, 2 MAMA Awards, an MTV Video Music Award, an Asia Artist Award, with the layered 2 categories under Song of the Year. She has received 3 Grammy Award nominations, including Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and became the first Korean artist to be nominated for one of the big 4 categories as a lead artist. She appeared on the Times 2025 list of the 100 most influential people in the world, as well as Rolling Stone's 2023 list of living icons from Australia and New Zealand. And in 2025, she received a South Korean Presidential Commendation Award from her contribution to popular culture in South Korea and abroad. And in addition to becoming the second most followed Korean individual on Instagram, Rosé has also been acknowledged for a role in fashion as well as a global ambassador for Yves Saint Laurent, Tiffany and Company, Rimowa, and Puma. Wow. Lots, right? So let's talk about also her affiliation with Blackpink, because it's like K-pop is big right now, Korea pop. So it's a South Korean girl group formed by YG Entertainment, okay? And it's composed of 4 members. So there's Jisoo, Jennie, Rosé, and Lisa. And it's regarded by various publications as the biggest girl group in the world. They're recognized as leading force in the Korean wave and an ambassador of the girl crush concept in K-pop, which explores themes of self-confidence and female empowerment. We like that. Blackpink actually debuted, like I said earlier, back in August of 2016 with their single album Square One, which included Whistle, their first #1 hit in South Korea's Circle Digital chart, and Boombaya, their first #1 on the US Billboard World Digital Songs chart. 3 months later, they released another single album called Square Two, whose songs Playing with Fire was the first by a Korean group to enter the Billboard Canadian Hot 100. Wow, they're just breaking records. The group's domestic and global popularity grew with the chart-topping single Do in 2018, the first song by a Korean female group to enter the UK singles chart and receive a certification from the Recording Industry Association of America, the RIAA. Its music video was the first by a Korean group to surpass 1 and 2 billion views on YouTube. That is amazing. Billion, guys, we're talking. Their music video for 2019, Kill This Love, and 2020, How You Like That, set records for the most viewed music videos within the first 24 hours of release. The later topped this Circle Digital chart and set 5 Guinness World Records. Blackpink's debut studio album, The Album is what it was called in 2020, was the first album by a female act in South Korea to sell 1 million copies. Then their 2022 follow-up, Born Pink, was the first to sell 2 million copies, the first by a girl group to reach number 1 on the U.S. Billboard 200 since Danity Kane back in 2008. That's about, 17 years ago. And the first by a Korean girl group to top the Billboard 200 and the UK albums chart. The album's lead single called Pink Venom in 2022 was the first song by a Korean group to reach number 1 on Australia's ARIA singles chart, and the first by a girl group to reach number 1 on the Billboard Global 200. Wow. Overall, Blackpink has achieved 3 number 1s on the Billboard Global 200 and 4 number 1s on the Billboard Global, excluding US, the most of a US female act, as well as 10 entries on the US Billboard Hot 100. Their Born Pink World Tour, which was from 2022 to 2023, became the highest grossing concert tour by a female group and Asian act in history, while they became the first Asia act to headline Coachella in 2023. With 40 billion streams and 20 million records sold worldwide, like I said, Blackpink is one of the best-selling girl groups of all time. And it sounds like it's surpassing even Spice Girls and what have you, okay? They're the most subscribed music act on YouTube and has the most viewed music group channel and are the most followed and most streamed girl group on Spotify. That's amazing. And interesting enough is for their work as advocates for climate change awareness, the group was invested as honorary members of the Order of the British Empire, MBE, in 2023. And Blackpink was the first girl group to enter Forbes 30 Under 30 Asia and was named Time's 2022 Entertainer of the Year. The group has been ranked among the top of the Forbes Korea Power Celebrity 40 list and recognized by former South Korean President Moon Jae-in for spreading K-pop and Korean culture worldwide. I agree, it's big, right? Let's go back to the song. So, APT, Apartment, it was released through the Black Label and Atlantic Records on October 18, 2024, so just a year ago, as the lead single from Rosé's debut single studio album, Rosé 2024. It marked Rosé's first solo single in 3 years and her first release since departing from YG Entertainment and Interscope Records in 2023. Okay, so who helped write it? It was written by Rosé. Lots of names here. Amy Allen, Brody Brown, Philip Thomas, R. City, Theron Thomas, Roger Shahayed, Omer Fetty, and Circuit. And Mars was being produced by the later 4 additional writing credits by Nicky Chin and Mike Chapman. And what Nicky Chin and Mike Chapman did is they rewrote portions of a melody from Tony Basil's 1982 single Mickey, because it kind of sounds like, oh, Mickey. It has that same kind of drum beat. In addition to similarities to Mickey, Songfacts.com wrote that APT has a melody and rhythm that's also similar to That's Not My Name, from the Ting Tings' #1 hit in 2008, 17 years ago. The videos are also kind of similar as well. The Ting Tings are a boy-girl duo, and their video, they also have a drum kit and what have you. And it says, quote unquote, from Ting Tings, Jules DeMarto, saying, "We plan to have a word with Bruno Mars." This is what they told Songfacts.com. They felt a bit too close to comfort. Of course, we're proud to hear our music style drop into new creations, and like we were inspired, we hope to inspire others, but I wasn't a fan of how close that felt. Interesting. So APT has been described as a pop punk, pop rock, new wave track, featuring indie rock and electropop elements. It has a rap verse, and then it transitions to a melodious, what they say, pre-chorus, and builds to an energetic chorus influenced by this game chant. Let's talk about that. So according to Rosé, APT, apatapate, or I popped out my tit, is actually my favorite Korean drinking game that I play with my friends back home. It's so simple, puts a smile on your face, and breaks the ice at any party. One night in the studio, I taught my crew how to play the game. Everyone was fascinated, especially when I started the chant. So we played around with it. And I said, we should make a song out of it. And after Bruno joined the track, the rest became history. Wow. Like I said, it was inspired by a popular South Korean drinking game, specifically named Apartment, for which the title of the song also derived. And the track employs the game's rhythmic chant. And remember I said earlier, it's Korean for apartment, and it has that playful, addictive chorus. In an interview with Vogue, Rosé revealed that she was initially kind of freaked out how people would react to a song about a drinking game. Moreover, Rose asked her team to delete the song from their phones, only to find that they're already obsessed with it. So this is how the groundswell starts to swell. She later proposed a collaboration of Mars and pitched him 3 songs. Number 1, Girl, 3 a.m., and Apartment, APT, with the last track being her preferred choice. After listening to the songs, Mars asked what the title of App means, prompting Rosé to explain the track was based on this famous Korean drinking game. She also expressed that she said, never thought, quote unquote, the collaboration would happen and was excited to work with Mars. Then on November 8, 2023, Rosé shared a behind-the-scenes video on Instagram celebrating a year since writing and recording APT on November 7, 2023. It did well, like I said, inspired by a drinking game, and it's very popular, as we now know. Critics lauded APT for its catchy production, broad cross-cultural appeal, and its role in promoting Korean culture worldwide, and it's done quite well, as you now know. The music video also did well. So as of the taping of this podcast in November of 2025, it's at 2.1 billion views. That's with a B. I'm just telling you. Oh my gosh. And it premiered back on October 17, 2024. So it just only hit over a year, and it's at 2.1 billion and climbing. And it was directed by Mars and Daniel Ramos and premiered on Rosé's YouTube channel simultaneously when the single released. And per songfacts.com, the accompanying music video directed by Mars and Daniel Ramos features Rosé and Mars in a full garage band mode, taking turns on drums and vocals and matching black leather jackets against a bubblegum pink set. It looks amazing visually. It's a departure from what we're known to see with K-pop, which is meticulously choreographed, costume-heavy spectacle, but it's part of its charm. Fans even noted that the black and pink aesthetic gives a cheeky nod to Rosé's group Blackpink, adding yet another layer to the visual fun. The song broke several viewership records on YouTube, becoming the fastest music video by an Asian act to reach 1 billion views on the platform. APT was also the second fastest song and the fastest by K-pop artist to reach 1 billion streams in Spotify history. And she was able to promote the song with performances on the season's Lee Young-ji's Rainbow BBC Radio First Christmas live launch in 2024, and The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon with Mars at the 2024 MAMA or MAMA Awards. Like I said earlier, the song won the 2025 MTV Video Music Award for Song of the Year and received 3 nominations at the 68th Annual Grammy Awards for Best Pop Duo Group Performance, Record of the Year, and Song of the Year, becoming the most nominated song by a K-pop artist and the first to be nominated in a Big Four category as a lead artist. And what I thought was interesting, to top it off, per songfacts.com, when accepting the 2025 MTV Music Award for Song of the Year, Rosé said, quote unquote, As my therapist tells me to do every day, I'd like to thank myself for not giving up, even in the toughest of times, and always remember, you've got you. I love it. So there you go. First misheard song lyric for Rosé and for Bruno Mars. And again, it's not about popping a tit. It's Korean for apartment. Patapate. So now you know. If you have any great suggestions like this misheard song lyric, please send it to our sites like our Instagram site, Facebook, or our old-fashioned email, misheard. That's MISSHEARD songs@gmail.com. Till then, keep singing these songs wrong. Bye.